Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week to This Georgia Clay. So last week's vlog, I know that you guys saw Matt and I sit down and have like a little chit chat in terms of what's coming for 2024. We did state that this week's vlog is going to include our guest room makeover, that we're going to start that process, our project. However, we've been so busy with client projects that we really haven't had the time to actually start it. So as of today's vlog, nothing has been done in that space. So we're going to give you guys a little different taste of a vlog of us actually completing a project in one of our client projects. This will be the very first project that we actually let me do that again. So this will be the very first project that you actually see a client project within their home and one that we complete for someone else. Typically you only see that on our Instagram. So if you aren't following us over on Instagram, it's This Georgia Clay. We do show in our stories as well as postings and things like that of some client projects, but this one is actually a full blog dedicated for that. So we're going to start doing that because we have so many clients and we just want to show off all of those projects that we do. And a lot of you that may be watching our YouTube channel don't necessarily know we have an IG. We offer services in other people's homes in terms of design. If you need help building a project and making it come to life, we can help with that too. So we want to make sure that we emphasize that and show you guys that content as well, because we do so much behind the scenes. It's not just a weekly vlog that we do. We just are always busy. So I just wanted to touch bases with you guys and let you know that things are changing also within our home. We do have a new sofa. I'm going to show you that to you guys. Really, am I saying that?
You can say I'll show it at the end.
Oh, so we do have a new sofa in our main level here, so I'll show that to you guys at the end. There'll be a dedicated vlog for that sometime this month. I haven't really had much time to actually enjoy it, to review it, to sit on it, to see how comfortable it is, how durable it is. So I'm definitely going through that process, but I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. And then also I got this beautiful artwork here. It is of a Texas Longhorn. Since I have no plans I'm moving to Texas anytime soon, I don't know if I'll, in my lifetime, get back there in terms of being a Texas resident. So I wanted to bring something in my home. This will not stay here. I just put it up here because it so goes with the black and white up here, the aesthetic. But it is gonna go in our gym space. But this photo here, if you guys aren't familiar, it is from Kirkland's. It typically is $169 is the full value or the full price of the ticket. Talk about work. Damn. Typically, the price of this artwork is $169, but I was able to get it on clearance. It went down to $74. Sometimes it normally goes down to $99. Then I got another 25% off because it has a little ding right here in it. So I plan on touching this up with some paint in the frame. But the girl walked out with it, $60 with taxes. So I couldn't ask for a better deal for this big, huge artwork. And I wanted to also put it up here so you guys can see the scale of it. But it will go downstairs in our gym space within the basement. So I wanted to shout that out because I really, really love it. But anyways, so let's go ahead and get into this week's vlog.
Alright guys, so we are back at it again. So as you can see, the first thing I need to work on is getting myself a work table. I'm looking for an option that kind of folds up so I can just unfold it and boom, I have a work table to work on. But for now, you got to work with the things you have. So I just use scrap plywood to kind of set up like a table per se. But I'm getting started with some bevels here. Just testing the saw out first. I just wanted to make sure that the saw was aligned and that I would get some pretty good angles on a bevel so I could decide if I wanted to do that or maybe use a circular saw, because you know, either way works. But I decided to use the miter saw because it was just right there in front of me. And once I got everything set up how I wanted it, it was time to go ahead and start cutting the tops and bottoms of the shelves, because those were the longest pieces, and I just started there because it was a little bit easier for me mentally to start there with the big pieces, and then I can kind of trim around it to figure everything else out as I went. And so the reason I'm showing this here is I decided to do one of the cuts with a circular saw, just to show you guys, because not everybody has, you know, a miter saw ready to go. So I just wanted to give you a different option to let you know that yes, you can use a circular saw to make bevel cuts. Most circular saws do turn to an angle, so you can do 45, 46, some of them go up to I think 60 degrees. And as you can see, you can get a pretty clean cut with a circular saw too. So you don't necessarily need to have a miter saw, it just makes it a little more convenient. So it's time to move on to the front face of the floating shelf, which was going to be about 3.5. I think we used a 1x4, so it's like 3.5 inches wide to trim out the front face of the floating shelf. So I just made my marks, got everything lined up, and I will tell you guys right now, I thought I had a brilliant idea to avoid trying to do bevel the entire length of the shelf, like you can see right here. This is when I knew I messed up. So I was trying to avoid ripping a 45-degree angle across the whole length of the 95-inch shelf, but I messed up, and that's okay. Sometimes you mess up. Sometimes you have an idea, like, you know, while you're laying in bed, and you're like, aha, I'm gonna go with that. It's gonna solve all my problems, make everything 10 times easier. But that doesn't happen. So just think things through a little bit more. I just wanted to show you guys that, to show you that it's cool to make mistakes, but usually there's always a way to work around it. You just kind of have to go back a couple steps, but you can get it fixed. So I ended up ripping a 45-degree angle across the entire shelf so that everything, the top, bottom, sides, everything is all mitered together, instead of what I thought I was trying to do, which was only bevel the outside. And yes, don't come for me in the comments. I know there's an easier way to join up your miters by using tape and laying everything face down. I've done it before. I just didn't have any tape right there next to me, so I just figured, let me just go ahead and just keep on moving, and I made it work. When I'm in the zone, I just want to get stuff done. I don't want to stop. I don't want to go to the store. I just want to keep moving. So that's usually how I end up getting, like, it's hard for me to step away from a project. Like, I just want to get it done because I'm in the zone, I'm in the mode, I'm just ready to go. And yeah, sometimes you just got to keep moving, find plan B, and go with that. And so a lot of this is just kind of done by feel, but a trick I did pick up just in the last 2-3 years of trying to work on stuff is using a screwdriver, because it's like just a smooth metal cylinder is a great tool to kind of smooth out all your corners, so you don't have to route it or try to sand it, fill it with anything. If you have any open corners, anything like that, just use a screwdriver. It helps to close everything up real nice and smooth, and it gives like a nice soft edge so it doesn't look super sharp and kind of fake. Alright, so we got our sides cut and measured and cut, and everything lined up pretty nice. So I just shot a couple extra nails in just to get it lined up while the glue dried. And here we go. We got 2 shelves completely built, ready to go, and then it was time to move on to making the actual supports that will hold these to the wall. So as always, I try to include at least 1 or 2 tips that you guys can take back and use yourself. So this is me basically just setting up a DIY stop block. You don't need, a fancy machine. You don't need a special table saw, anything like that, a whole woodworking shop, anything like that. But I usually just take a scrap piece of wood, get everything lined up to where I need the length to be. And this way you can make repeatable cuts. It's very accurate. I've used it a bunch of times. So I'm making my first cut here. You just slide it to your stop block and boom. So a cheap clamp, a piece of scrap wood, and you're good to go. All right, so once I got all those cut, it was time to go ahead and fasten all of them to their supports. And there's no like special rule to this. You can do 16 inches, you can do whatever feels good to you. You can do 4 pieces, 8 legs, whatever feels good to you. It'll still be strong. I think I just went with like 5 support pieces and left it at that. It felt good to me. It'll provide a little bit of strength in the middle so that the shelves don't sag. But yeah, it was pretty quick, and it's just a little bit shorter than the inside of the shelf, so that once you get everything test fit and it looks good, it'll just slide in. It'll give you a nice snug fit without being overly tight. So I would call that a pretty nice fit. And it's time for the part I don't think anybody likes, but the good part about sanding is it's kind of a milestone to let you know that you're like halfway there. So I use that as kind of like a booster to say, hey, we're almost done. It's time to smooth this piece down, get everything looking good, feeling nice, so that you're almost at the finish line. So here I'm using, I believe I was using 220 grit just to get everything smoothed out, get all the pencil marks, all the dirt lines, stuff like that taken out of the wood, because you don't want to stain with any blemishes, anything like that, because it will get sealed in. So you want to make the piece look as pretty as possible before you start staining or sealing or anything like that, because once you do that, it's a done deal. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. So this is Early American by Virathane. I wanted to test it on a scrap piece first, just to get the tone that we were looking for. Our client actually gave us a sample from a wooden map that was attached to his wall to kind of match and go off of, because he wanted that same tone for his shelves. So we kind of got it down, figured out that we just were gonna go with one heavy coat without wiping any excess off, and that gave us the color that we were aiming for. So yeah, the stain went on pretty good. We started off with a brush first, as you can see here, but I think the thing that we've gotten used to is just using a rag, because it allows you to, you can dip and then you can get the stain on there really quick. man, this is starting to look pretty good. So if you guys like this color, I think Early American is a really good versatile stain, because you can put like a really light coat and have it look more like a white oak type of color, a very light beige, or you can go heavy on the stain and make it look more brownish if you want the darker tones. But overall, the tones in the stain itself, I think, is a really good in between for a lot of people. And again, it's personal preference, but I think Early American is a really good. Some people like Weathered Oak, but that's a little more gray. But this one is really warm if you like warm tones and wood tones and stuff like that. So great stain. So it was time for install. What I did was I had already marked the studs inside the office and marked on here where I wanted the holes to be. So I just went outside and pre-drilled holes in those spots so that I could just take it inside and just screw it straight into the studs without, possibly splitting the wood or anything weird like that. We went ahead and attached the support to the walls with some 3 or 4 lag screws, and made sure it was nice and strong. These things aren't going to move for a very long time. And here we go. Looks pretty good. Let us know what you guys think.
Alright guys, so let me know in the comments what you guys think of those floating shelves. I absolutely love it. Again, the stain on that is called Early American. I really love that particular stain. I think it's something that it's a stain color that's not too dark, it's not too light, but it's a perfect, nice, rich brown color. And I really love it. I think I'm going to implement it some places within our home as well, getting away from the black just a little bit. But I wanted to show you guys this beautiful sofa that I got here. It's from Cheetah Living, and I absolutely love it. I'm not going to give any details in terms of which particular couch it is, because it is going to come up in an upcoming vlog. But we are going to make some changes here. We do need to get a bigger rug. We do need to space out some of the furniture just a little bit to make sure that there's more space within this area. But I'm really loving how the main level is coming together. This couch definitely complements the 2 Ashley chairs that I have, and I think it's a perfect contrast to make this space come together. Rather than, I loved my white sofa before, but because things always change and evolve at This Georgia Clay, it was time for a change. And when they reached out to me, I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to share more with you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week to This Georgia Clay. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and maybe next week we'll be back starting our guest room. I'll let you guys know, but it's always a surprise here. All right guys, bye.